Now let us learn about power of accommodation. For learning this, first let us see about the eyelids and the ciliary muscles. The eyelids is composed of a fibrous jelly-like material. Its curvature can be modified to some extent by the ciliary muscles. Now, the eyelids, which we call as crystalline glands, it composed of fibrous and jelly-like material. Its curvature. What is the curvature of the lens? It is the degree of the lens to which it can be curved. In simple words, we can remember the curvature of the lens is up to which degree it can be curved. So, this curvature of the lens can be modified to some extent. And which part of the eye does this work? It is done by the ciliary muscles. Do you remember that when we were learning the parts of the human eye, I have told you that we'll learn it in power of accommodation. So here it is. The function of ciliary muscles is to modify the curvature of the eye lens. If we look the structure of the human eye more precisely, we can clearly see that the crystalline lens is attached with ciliary muscles on both sides. So what happens? The change in the curvature of the eye lens will change its focal length also. Now, when we were learning chapter number 10, at that time we have learned image formation by lens. We know what is focal length, right? What it is? It is the distance between the principal focus and optical center of the lens. So, this focal length we have learned. So, when there is a change in the curvature of the lens, it will change its focal length also. How? Because when the curvature is changed, it will change the radius also. And because of that, focal length will also be changed. How is it done? Let us understand it with simple diagram. Here we have two diagrams for far point and near point. Let us refer to first diagram. When the muscles are relaxed, the lens becomes thin and focal length increases. This enables us to see distant object clearly. Whenever any object is at far distance, as a result, what happens? The ciliary muscles which are attached with the lens, that ciliary muscles will relaxed. Now here we'll use term relaxation and contraction. So when the ciliary muscles are relaxed, which means they are not pulled, they are not get stretched, they are in relaxed position. And that is why the lens becomes thin. When lens becomes thin, focal length increases and we are able to see the objects which are at far places. Let us refer to second diagram. When we are looking objects which are near to our eyes, what happens? Opposite to the first condition. Here the ciliary muscles contract. We know what is contraction, right? Contraction means to decrease in size. So when the ciliary muscles are contracted, as a result, their size will decrease, and because of that, the eye lens become thicker. Because from both sides, ciliary muscles are contracting. As a result, the eye lens will become thicker and focal length decreases. And this enables us to see the objects clearly. Let us understand it with this example. When an apple is at far distance, what happens? Three things you will remember. First one, muscles are relaxed, and because of that, lens becomes thin and focal length increases, which help us to see the object at distant place. Let us refer to second diagram. Here an apple is nearer. Here also three things will remember. Ciliary muscles contract. As a result, eye lens become thicker and focal length decreases, and this helps us to see nearby objects clearly. What is the definition of accommodation? So remember, the ability of the eye lens to adjust its focal length is called accommodation. What it is? The ability of the eye lens to adjust its focal length is called the accommodation. Now, try to read a textbook by holding it very close to your eyes. Will you be able to read? We feel that the images are blurred and we are not able to see the printed letters clearly. Why? Because to see an object comfortably and distinctly, we must hold it at about 25 centimeter from the eyes. So please remember, this is the proper distance is given. To see the objects comfortably and distinctly, we must keep it at distance about 25 centimeter. The minimum distance at which objects can be seen more distinctly without strain is called the least distance of distinct vision. It is also called the near point of the eye. What is this near point of the eye? It is least distance of distinct vision. What is this least distance of distinct vision? The minimum distance at which the objects can be seen clearly. So what it is? 25 centimeter. 25 centimeter is the least distance of distinct vision. The distance at which the objects can be seen most distinctly is called least distance of distinct vision. It is also called as near point of the eye. For a young adult with normal vision, the near point is about 25 centimeter. The farthest point up to which the eye can see object clearly is called the far point of the eye. And what it is? It is infinity for a normal eye. We need to note that a normal eye can see objects clearly that are between 25 centimeter and infinity. Suppose you keep a book nearer to your eye, for example, suppose at a distance 10 centimeter. So that is not least distance of distinct vision. We will not be able to say it clearly. So to see the objects clearly, the objects must be between 25 centimeter to infinity for a normal eye. But when people get old, that time this near point gets changes. So it can be changed with the age. Sometimes the crystalline lens of people at old age becomes milky and cloudy, and that condition we call it as cataract. And this causes partial or complete loss of vision. But it is possible to restore vision through a cataract surgery.